everybody. I'm Zach Kidd, your host for this evening, and I'm running solo. I don't have anybody in virtual studio with me tonight, mostly because of a lack of planning on my side, but that's okay. Anyhow, I've got some great stuff for you tonight, and I figured, what the heck, I'm just going to spitball. My background this evening is the American flag, not because of the election, but because Veterans Day is coming up, and of course, right before that's the Marine Corps birthday, so yeah, Semper Fi, guys. Yeah, look, if you see the Marines out someplace, just avoid them. They're going to be a mess this weekend. Anyhow, but yeah, so Veterans Day is coming up on the 11th. And yeah, I just wanted to make mention of that, wear my Air Force hat, do the patriotic background on here, and say, thanks to my fellow veterans. I only do that because I know what annoys us. But anyhow, I've got some other good stuff to go over tonight, and I promise you, like right now, obviously I'm trying to get back in the swing of things. I think we all are. Life has not returned to normal yet. I mean, we've been through 2 hurricanes. I went 10 days without power. I went a month without internet. Didn't evacuate for Helene, did evacuate for Milton. When we came home, I still didn't have any power or internet. So obviously we had to do with the cleanup and all this, and we just had an election, and then there was Halloween, then we had the election, now we got another hurricane spinning out in the Gulf. Luckily it's going away from us, and I don't know, has anybody released Mariah Carey for the Christmas season yet? I mean, it's just like, it's all just too much. So I've decided to go a little different direction on this, and just do kind of my normal thing. I've got a couple of tech tweaks that I'm still working to get ironed out, and I haven't spent as much time doing that as I wanted to, simply because I'm trying to play catch up from basically being Fred Flintstone for a month. So forgive me, but I've got some great stuff I want to bring to you, to whoever watched this in the upcoming week, maybe 2 weeks. Some really great contacts that I think everybody should have kind of in their back pocket anyway. But anyhow, let's go. Where is that one? Let's go here, because yeah, that's where I need to be. Nope, not there. I'll get there, man. I'm just a little bit rough right now. Oh yeah, that's what I need to do. Go over to that other page to get there, but we'll do that in a minute. Anyhow, I hope everybody is doing okay. I know some of my clients had bought waterfront properties, and yeah, they're washed out. They're not 100% sure what they're going to do, but I know that it's been a rough go for them, and my heart goes out to them. If you're in a similar situation, just keep watching. I've got some great stuff. I was going to do a little commercial, but again, I ran out of time. I did a thing this morning. I went out with my drone, and I went looking for a missing dog, and then I found somebody who was missing a cat, so I did that too. So yeah, that sucked up a chunk of my day, but it was all good stuff. So anyhow, I didn't get to do the commercial that I wanted to do, which is fine. It's fine. I'm just going to do something similar live. But anyhow, let's go over here real quick. And I want to tell you, where is that box? There we go. I don't know why I don't have that on the other page. I'm pretty sure I do. If I do, I can't find it right now. Oh, there it is. That's why. I'm telling you, like, some days. Let's go back over here to solo main, and I'm going to get this cleaned up too. Is that going to work? It's not working. It's okay. Just little tech problems. It's all good. But yeah, I need to clean up for my console over here that I use. I'm using a platform called Touch Portal, and it runs on my iPad, and it's really slick, but the problem is you got to design everything yourself, and that's not one of my strong suits in life. So I'm over here going, where did I put that button? I know that thing's there, but I'll get there. Anyhow, we'll go back over to this screen for a second so I can run this banner. If you've got any questions, any comments about what I'm talking about tonight, you can drop them in the chat from wherever you're watching at. Doesn't matter if it's YouTube or Facebook or where else am I streaming on? LinkedIn. I can't believe I'm actually streaming on LinkedIn and Twitter and Rumble. So wherever you're watching this at, If you got a question or comment, drop it in the comments section on whatever platform, and I'll be able to see it here no matter what. And I'll respond to it. I can bring it up on the screen for everybody. If I can remember where I put that button, there we go. So the chat is open and waiting. So the first thing I want to do, though, is I want to go back over to here. Okay, there we go. And there's the soundboard. I got to have the soundboard ready for this. That's happy. Oh, there we go. Okay, now I found the right button. I'm telling you, running your own show, like the news makes it look so easy, but they've got like a team of people, one who does the design, the graphic design and the overlays. Somebody else pushes the buttons for stuff. You know, it's not just like a one-man show. And it's kind of tough when you are a one-man show, but I try to make it look good and have some fun with it. So hopefully somebody enjoys it. Anyhow, so I'm going to start off, okay, now that I know where I'm going and where my buttons are, let's go over to browser, and I want to start off with, yeah, the fraud of the week thing here. I go back to soundboard. All right, now I'm primed and ready. I gotta give a shout out to my mom this week. She got a phone call today, and they're like, yeah, we're from your credit card company, and they actually used the name of a credit card that she actually has, which, you know, you got a pretty decent chance of that happening. And they said, hey, you know, you've got a fraud alert from, you know, so-and-so out in Texas is trying to use your information. My mom was like, okay, that might be a possibility, but I ain't telling you a damn thing if you're cold calling me from out of the blue. So they're like, oh, but you have to call us back and provide your information so we can handle this. And she's like, you know what? I don't think so. But she was nice, because that's my mom. She's nice. And by the way, belated happy birthday, Mom. I didn't say that on one of the previous episodes here, but Mom turned 80 this year. So like the whole tech and scam thing, that's not exactly her generation's strong suit, but my mom does awesome with it. So she has had a couple of friends who have had big problems with fraud and scam, but she listens to me, and she's like, nope. As soon as they said I'm from your, they were calling her and they're from her credit card company, she's got fraud and she needs to. She's like, nope, I know that's probably a scam. So anyhow, they were like, well, you know, she's like, okay, look, I'm going to look into this and I'll call you back. Like, oh, you have to call us back right away. Blah blah blah. She's like, sure, okay, thanks, bye. Hung up the phone, and she called me, and she's like, what do I do? I said, flip your credit card over, call the phone number on the back of it, and ask them if they called you. So she did that, and then a few minutes after that, I get another phone call from her, and she's like, they were right. We were right. You know, it was a complete scam, and they flagged my account just to make sure nobody can ever get through on it. I'm like, good on you, Ma. So, yay! You did a great job, Ma. But yeah, that's one of the reasons that I definitely cover a lot of this information, is because people don't know what they don't know. There's a ton of frauds out there and scams, and there's different variations on the theme. I'm going to cover a couple of them tonight. But if you don't know and you're not aware, you could very easily go, oh man, somebody did grab my credit card. You know, I did leave my wallet at the restaurant the other night, so maybe it is legit. You know, here, yeah, I'll give you some identifying information. Too bad. They already got your info and off you go. So, yeah, trust but verify. I've got that someplace. Can I find that? Let's go back here and go to there, and wait, I might actually be able to find it if I go this way. Oh, probably not, because there's 80s, and there we go.
Trust but verify.
Yeah, Reagan said it best, man. Trust but verify. And honestly, when it comes to anybody reaching out to you trying to help you that you didn't call ahead of time, just don't trust them. Definitely go back and verify. And if you're a scammer,
stop it. Get some help.
That's right. You tell them. Anyhow, yeah, I'm here to have a good time tonight. Is that going to come up now? Hey, it is going to work this time around. Again, if you're just joining me here, you can drop a comment wherever you're watching at. So whatever platform you're on, if you got a comment or a question, hop on here and we'll rock through it. So let me go back over to that page and turn that off. There we go. And let's bring up the browser, keeping scammers and hackers at bay. Yeah, this is a good one. This actually comes to us from, I think that I got this off of, let's see, where did I get it off of? Yeah, it's the consumer newsletter from the state of Florida, which is awesome. But they talk about a lot of good stuff, and it's very common stuff. You know, secure your accounts, use a strong password, enable two-factor authentication wherever possible, and then keep your apps up to date. That's huge. Wireless network, you know, here's a big one. Anybody in the IT field can tell you this is hysterically common. That you please replace the default Wi-Fi network password and router admin password with a strong password. You can even use a different name on there, which is good. And encrypt your network to prevent unauthorized access. Set your computer and phone to lock when you're not using them, and create a backup copy of your information. That's some good stuff. Also, big out there right now, bogus job offers. You know, there's a lot of people out there need jobs, and you get a text message with a job offer saying it pays hundreds of dollars a day for doing remote work. Don't do it. They just want your social security number, and then they're going to run you up thousands of dollars in you know, fraudulent credit card stuff. I mean, you probably won't be able to get a credit card, but they can get one. I don't know how that works. But yeah. So don't click on links for unexpected texts. I got another one about that here in just a second. Do some research and block the unwanted texts. And then, yeah, that's the Division of Consumer Services. Here's another hot one for this week. How to avoid election-related scams. Let's see. Basically, what it's coming down to is they're asking people to donate to a campaign. Whether it comes mail, phone call, that money isn't going to the candidates. The sender does not care who you want to donate to. Yeah, the only thing they care about is that it goes in their wallet. So I don't care what your political affiliation is. That doesn't matter to me, but even post-election, you might see something that says, you know, Harris lost, donate to help continue the movement. They're probably going to scam you. Just be aware that these things exist. It may or may not be legit, but if it's legit, you can go through whatever. I feel like I got a little hair sticking right there. But yeah, go through a legitimate platform. Do not trust a text message or a blind email, or, you know, voter registration. You know, we're updating this year. No, just go through actual legit stuff. Go over here also via text message. They're using toll fees as a lure. We see this quite a bit. The correct term for this is smishing. Don't know where we got that one from, but that's okay. Small amount phishing, I guess, is what that is. But anyhow, yeah, we've seen this happen in Florida too, and basically it looks legit that you get a text message saying, hey, you owe us, and click here to go to the website and pay your toll fare, or, you know, we're going to charge you and haul you off to jail. Yeah, whatever. But yeah, it's fake. Yeah, you get that one too. Again, if you like locally, if you go to sunpass.com, you can find out whether or not that's, you know, you actually have any legitimate charges out there. So basically, if you get something unsolicited, just treat it as fake. This one was mostly New York, but it applies all over there. There you go, toll.sunpass.com. That was one. So, I mean, they're running here, Suns, there's an extra S there, sunspass.com. Yeah, there you go. See, just close enough. Suns Pass Toll Services. See, it's got that extra S there too. There you go. There's the extra S. Sun Pass Toll Services. Like, I mean, you could very easily go, yeah, looks legit. It's not. So, and if you don't believe me, that's okay. Just go over to Google, or if you're using Ask Jeeves or something like that, cool. Just type in SunPass and go to the legit site from there. So that'll save you a little bit. Hundreds of online stores hacked in new campaign. Yeah, digital skimmers are snippets of code that have been injected into online stores and can steal your credit card number, expiration date, and CVV or CVC as you type it in. So, everybody knows about Amazon. You've got other legitimate online retailers, the big box stores. Those are pretty straightforward to find and make sure that you're doing good. But if you've got joestshirts.com, I'm not saying that they're not legit. There are literally hundreds of thousands of legitimate online e-businesses. And unfortunately, what's happening is in the back end of some of these websites, they're getting malicious code that steals your info. It's not that vendor. It's not anything that they necessarily can even be aware of immediately, even if they do have really good back-end security. It's just, digital skimmers. It's just like, you go to 7-Eleven and you swipe your card, and yeah, somebody can have a skimmer on that. It's a very widespread problem. This code is, from what I read on this, it is not easy to find unless you know what you're looking for. Fortunately, most of the websites that do get compromised, it comes out like with the major platforms. They come out very quickly, going, "Hey, we know this is a problem. Here's the fix," and you can have your website automatically update those for you. So it's important to be aware that it exists and work through it that way. And same thing with the phone number that they may have listed on the website. That could have been changed as well. So. Another big one here. Oh God, this one's so harsh. It's like, I wish we could still put bounties out on people. Can I even say that without getting banned? No, I meant bounty paper towels, man. But like they've got a Facebook funeral live stream scam. So, your family member dies, they offer to do a live stream for it, and they scam you in the process. That's absolutely abhorrent, and let terrible things happen to the people that are doing this. But yeah, they're stealing from people, and man, resulted in $700,000 in losses for the victims. Since then, scams have evolved dramatically. Let me pop that back up. If you're watching, you can drop comment on any platform that you're watching on. But there's you're grieving, you go through a service because you're feeling all these emotions, and then the emotion you feel is anger because someone's trying to take advantage of friends of loved ones, somebody who's just died. It's appalling. It's terrible. So long story short, most of the venues that I'm familiar with that are legit, whether you're talking, a funeral home or churches, a lot of those can live stream the service. If you're having a memorial service or something like that, go with them. Don't trust some third party unless you know a reputable third party. And, that would be somebody who hosts a live stream, somebody who has an actual business doing this. Go find them locally, do your research, Google Maps, find somebody around your area, but don't just trust some rando showing up going, "Hey, yeah, I can do that for you. I can do that with my iPhone." Yeah, here's a good one for you. New iPhone flaw can read your saved passwords out loud. So, if you're on iOS 18.0.1, but yeah, there's a bug fix for their voiceover built into the latest patch for it. Again, if you're sitting at home all day, every day, probably not the end of the world. But, again, if you're out in public and doing some, present shopping for the upcoming holidays, and you're at the mall, you don't want your iPhone reading your password to your credit card company out loud while you're standing in line. Like, no, go update your OS, please. Now we're going to get a little bit more, shall we say, deviant. AI girlfriend site breached. User fantasies stolen. Now, there is a scam similar to this that's called the Hello Pervert scam. I'm doing that in air quotes, and hopefully I don't get banned for saying that. But it basically, you're getting an email or a text message saying that they hacked your webcam and they watched you while you were doing, making yourself go blind. So they recorded that and they'll send it out to all your family and friends and that kind of stuff. So this, I'm guessing I'm thinking it's probably very similar, but people have been doing interactions with chatbots, shall we say, and the rest of it, prompts are then in turn linked to email addresses, many of which appear to be personal accounts with users' real names. And yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen is they're going to turn right around and say, hey, either you pay me a bunch of money in some untraceable currency, or I'm going to share it with all your friends and family. So this information is in use for active extortion attempts. That was on October 11th. I haven't seen an update on this yet. But yeah, I'm not judging if that's your thing, but, just be careful about it. Speaking of not being judgmental, this one comes to us from the American Legion. I love this article. New Liberty order. Liberty is like your weekend pass kind of thing. For U.S. troops in Japan. New Liberty order promised 2 months ago by the top U.S. commander in Japan following alleged cases of sexual assault and attempted sexual assault takes effect on Tuesday. Hopefully those words don't get me banned. I'm reading a headline. The order from U.S. forces in Japan bans early morning drinking in off-base establishments for all service members and spreads responsibility for their conduct, blah, blah, blah. And this apparently came about because of the Navy, because, they use the term liberty. That's a Navy term for weekend pass kind of thing. Really, you don't want them drinking. Really? Are we unfamiliar with the phrase, like a drunken sailor? I mean, it's there. It's in the cultural fabric. Go ahead, tell them they can't drink. That's not, I mean, don't get me wrong. The problems they're having aren't great either, but telling a Navy crew not to drink, may as well tell people not to breathe. Anyhow, so yeah, that was a good one. Speaking of military, again, Veterans Day weekend. Oh yeah, I'll come back to that one in a second too. If you're running into a little problem after the storms and you're a vet and you've got a VA home loan, yes, you're going to get calls from your mortgage servicer, hey, we can do a forbearance, that kind of stuff. Reach out to your lender. There are a ton of options with VA loans and some other loan types as well. So, civilian, you don't have a VA loan. A lot of your mortgage companies can really help you right now. And I know there's the whole mentality of there's no such thing as a free lunch. But the VA figures you've already paid your dues for that lunch, so they take really good care of vets. And there are other resources out there. And again, that's something I'm going to have coming in hopefully the upcoming week. At least one or two guests to come on and talk about some of these relief programs that aren't going to leave you up creek without a paddle. So definitely, if you're having problems and you've got a VA loan, hop over to benefits.va.gov/home loans, and you can start going through some of the resources here. If you're, give me a call. I'll hook you up with whoever I can. It's, I know it's a tough time. Don't let it get tougher because somebody else tried to sell you on something. So anyhow, also from the American Legion, there's a new TV comedy featuring the American Legion. It's written, directed, and produced by veterans. And it's about veterans returning to the civilian world. Look, so when I was without power, God, I'm going to be bad here for a second. When I was without, power I couldn't do much without, but without internet, I've got a rather decent library of old TV shows and movies and that kind of stuff. So I'm like, I'm going to watch a show I haven't watched since it came out, and it's called Street Hawk. and it's kind of like Knight Rider meets a motorcycle guy back in the mid 80s. And oh yeah, it is gloriously terrible, and I love it for that. But I will say that 40 years later, it's really tough to watch some of the wooden acting and directing and the rest of the stuff. I don't know if this show is going to be any better, because, you know, nowadays we got some pretty high standards out there. As I'm very fond of saying, I love the show Lucifer. The rest of the cast, I mean, they're all absolutely wonderful. But Tom Ellis, man, he just, wow. So I'm not expecting that level from the American Legion, but hopefully this winds up being a good show. And it's going to come out on Amazon, Apple TV, and Google Play. So hopefully we get a chance to watch this. Like, you know, I mean, if you're a vet or you're into vet kind of stuff, then yeah, go over and check it out on Amazon. You can watch that on Prime Video, or if you're on Apple. I never could get my Apple to work right. Yes, I got the iPad, but trying to pull it up on Roku or on the TV, it was just like, no, why would you want to do that? You can watch it on your iPhone. Wait, I got a big screen TV and you want me to watch it on my phone? No, I finally got so frustrated. I'm like, it's not even worth trying. So anyhow, let's keep going with the VA and disaster assistance and resources for veterans. This one's a little tougher to get to, but if you need this, please reach out to me. I will be happy to send you the link. I've got it saved. Veterans Crisis Line. I got a funny about that a couple of weeks ago. Somebody called the Veterans Crisis Line, and which is the normal crisis line. They picked up the phone and they're like, "How you doing?" And being a veteran, they're, you know, the vet who was reaching out, who clearly needed a little bit of help there. They're like, "I am not having a good time," but they dropped a couple of F-bombs in there, which, if you've ever dealt with a veteran, I mean, that's just how we say hello. And apparently the line said, "We can't deal with anybody who uses that kind of language," and hung up on them. Sorry, but you would think, especially on a veteran line, you would know that we're going to cuss. Just kind of is what it is. So you're not doing yourself any favors. Same thing. I just saw that same sign outside of a hospital. They're like, you know, "Oh, you can't use that language in here." I'm like, really? In an ER? Like, that's one of the few places I think you should have free reign to use whatever language you need to get yourself through whatever your situation is. But I don't make those policies. I wish I did, because I'd get rid of those stupid ones. But housing assistance, if you're a veteran or know a veteran who needs housing assistance right now, okay, you can call 1-877-4-AID, AID, VETS, VETS. If you want the actual number, it's 877-424-3838. Again, if you've lost your house and your car and all you've got's your dog, like, give them a call. They will do whatever possible to get you taken care of. Same thing with the VA, healthcare, all of that. Like, there are benefits and compensation, life insurance, fraud information. Yeah, definitely. Like, between the storms and the election and everything, fraud is just rampant right now. So you know, this may include disaster response imposters and scammers claiming to be from charities offering fake emergency loans. Be aware of this. Use your legitimate resources. I'm not saying that there aren't other lesser known resources that aren't completely viable, but check with these resources first. There's also disability housing grants for veterans. This one I'm big on. There is not an insignificant number of disabled vets out there. You have several programs available to you as you're buying your house to make it adaptive for you. I can speak on that in depth, but I'd be way better off having one of my experts come on and we can talk about that. If you like that idea, definitely drop me a message, because I'd love for somebody to say, "Oh yeah, I definitely need that." That I can, you know, talk to that person and be like, "Hey, get on here. Somebody said they need you." But yeah, if you've got some problems, there are several strategies you can use to go over that. Coast Guard veteran tells how VA housing first changed his life. Again, this is another great program. This gentleman lost his home, and he purchased less than 3 years after losing his house. He purchased his first home in 2024. So, there are great programs out there. The VA, this right here, this should say everything. VA's housing first approach has helped reduce veteran homelessness by over 50% since 2010. That's perfect. That's what we want in the world, right? Fewer homeless vets, and that's because they're being put in great scenarios. That's what we need more of. So, let's talk about housing for a second here. This is from biggerpockets.com. Love Bigger Pockets. If you're an investor type or considering learning about investing in real estate, Bigger Pockets, I cannot recommend them enough. I absolutely adore them. So consider that my ringing endorsement. But they have some great articles too. In this case, price appreciation is strongly correlated with household income or office employment, depending on the market. High-tech areas, that's not us. But one of the things I see all the time, price growth most correlated with Tampa, Florida, office employment, correlation 0.95%. That's like pretty much all of it is from office employment. And we're in the top 10 list. So, and over here, Bigger Pockets does the larger generalization of, they'll say Tampa, they may say Tampa Bay, they may even say St. Petersburg. But chances are pretty good you're just going to see Tampa on their list. So, top 10 cities with the highest tech job growth, 5-year tech job growth. I'm going to cover our area. 5-year growth is about 3%, 1-year growth about almost 6%. Total tech jobs 51,000, and per 1,000 jobs 37, so 36. But yeah, we're doing okay here. Like we're not at the top of it, obviously, but we're still doing pretty good. Top 10 markets with the most recent tech job growth. Boom, there you go. Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater. I shouldn't highlight it like that. Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater, 5.78%. I mean, Ogden, Utah is at 33%. Sacramento, where I was first stationed at, they're doing great at 30%. And then everything else is 11 and 10. We're not doing terrible, really. Maybe not the best, but we're holding our own. Same thing with STEM job growth. Oh, hey, look, not there. I would think, shockingly, why is that not on there? Up there it is. I was gonna say Titusville, man. Titusville's got to be on that list. SpaceX and NASA, they're only at 10%. So if you're in STEM, I cannot recommend going to Sacramento because it's still in California. But I did like Sacramento. Sacramento's a cool place. It just happens to be in California. So let's talk more storm stuff. No, I don't need that. Best and worst places to invest based on insurance claim data. Well, this is going to change. Worst places to invest. Texas, yes. Florida, of course. Like Texas, we're heavily impacted by named storms. Long history of severe weather, including hurricanes, which has led to high insurance costs. They're not lying. It's 100% true. That being said, this has always been a bone of contention for me. Because, hurricanes. Look, I'm not going to say that hurricanes aren't devastating, because they are. We've seen that this year. Usually we get a pretty decent break in between them. This year was kind of an exception. Not that it hasn't happened before. It happened in 2004. 20 years ago, we had 4 named storms back to back to back to back. And they all went to Orlando. Polk County got hit hard. But Florida, we're going to have hurricanes. You know what? Milton spun up tornadoes. That was a shocker. I've never seen widespread tornado damage like that in Florida. But the Midwest, they're known for tornadoes, like Wizard of Oz stuff. Yeah, she was in Kansas, got hit with a bunch of big tornadoes. Same thing goes with, anything farther north than that. You're getting snow. Big snowstorms cause major damage. is what it is. I don't know why Florida continues to get singled out, other than everybody's hellaciously jealous that we don't have snow. So, but yeah, insurance deductibles are going up. If you're thinking about investing in this area or buying in this area, you got to understand, like, this area is wonderful, but yeah, you're going to have problems with insurance. We're already seeing that now. It's only going to get worse. So I don't know if it's ever going to dip back down, but get a solid insurance quote. Don't go for the bargain basement one. Figure out what your deductible is. Make sure you got that set aside, and be very aware of where your property is, what your risks are. I'm going to do an upcoming video about how my perspective has changed on properties out near the water. I'm not going to go too deep into it because I want you to watch the actual video, but yeah, having lived here for a very significant amount of time, my opinion's changed a little bit, which is, that's what happens. You mature, you get some different ideas. And this time around, man, I got different ideas. Largest rental markets, here's where prices could fall. In the short term, additional supply puts downward pressure on rents. Pandemic boom towns may see rent declines. Look, we're not listed there. 30 markets where rents are declining. Fort Myers, down quite a bit. Tampa is actually down about 2%. So that was, what's the date on this? September 2nd. I told you I'm behind. September 2nd. Well, guess what? There's a lot of uninhabitable properties out there right now. There's a lot of pressure for rentals. I think that's going to correct itself. I think that's going to correct itself pretty quickly, just due to the fact that there's still demand down here and we lost a chunk of supply. So if nothing else, I expect it to level out some. Yeah, Tampa down just a smidge. Top 30 markets with the highest vacancy rates. In other words, if you own 100 properties and your vacancy rate is, 10, then 10 out of your 10%, then 10 of your properties aren't rented, the other 90 are. But yeah, vacancy rate, Lakeland, it's actually 16%, which is shocking, and your change in rents follow that. If you got high vacancy, then you're overpriced and your price points are going to have to come down a little bit. Fort Myers has dropped significantly, and they've got high vacancy rates there. Jacksonville, Sarasota. So, I mean, we're on this list. Daytona Beach, that's come down a little bit. But yeah, Tampa Bay area, still kind of clear. New units under construction. Whew, yeah. Tampa, 5%, 5.5%. Yeah, so yeah, that's not a warm fuzzy, which means we're just not, we don't have a lot of ability to adapt to that. New supply rates, blah, blah, blah. Orlando, median values. So yeah, Orlando's on the list. Miami's on the list, but the rest of it, we're still good here. New units and median rent. Yeah, I'm not going to go there all that crazy on there. 6 creative ways to cover your kids' college costs with real estate. There. I got a segue coming out of this one. Let me check my last tab here for you. 13 real estate hotspots you won't want to miss next year. Tech hubs, top 13 cities, how they did it. And, oh, look, we're not on there. Holy crow. And we filtered it out, but look, we're still there. Like, everybody still loves us because, it's hard not to. And, we got beaches. Again, I need a little button here to show some of my drone footage of being out there. Boise, San Antonio, North Carolina. Oh, look at that. Number 2, Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater. Steady growth in healthcare, finance, insurance, and technology sectors. So yeah, we may have hurricanes, but we still have a lot of demand, and that is from having really solid industry underneath us. We still have a tourist industry. It's just, we've got other bigger industries now too, which is really, really good. Overall, it's a good market with solid fundamentals and a diverse economy. So we're pretty healthy. But yeah, insurance prices are likely to continue rising. Again, this was before the hurricanes. So yeah. Many properties are at risk from extreme weather events. Yeah, personally, I'll be skipping this market. Look, if you're from around here, you know what the risks are, you know how to mitigate them. If you're not from around, like I wouldn't, well, I don't know, I was in California, but, earthquakes, that one's really hard to mitigate. You have no heads up, and weird things can happen with that. Big hole in the ground just opened up and swallowed the house. At least here we got, a few days heads up on what's going to happen. We can make preparations for it. So, again, that's a personal call. Tornadoes, when the tornado season is, but you might have 15 minutes heads up on a tornado. Hurricanes suck, don't get me wrong, but we've got plenty of time to deal with them. So, again, knowledge is power. Oh, wait. Where is that? Faves, 80s. Where is it?
As your body grows bigger,
your mind must flower.
It's great to learn.
'Cause knowledge is power.
See, I had that one on the quick draw. Anyhow, and then the last one I'm going to cover here is, where'd it go? Here we go. Take me back to there. There we go. Last one I'm going to cover here is 6 creative ways to cover your kids' college costs with real estate. I'm not going to tell you all of this. I will say that William is up in Tallahassee at FSU. Go Noles. I know the the football team ain't doing so great this year. They did great last year. I do not blame Mike Norvell. There's a bunch of other issues going on out there. We lost some of our star players to go to the NFL, so can't blame them. But anyhow, yeah, these are it's a consideration. Like, there is definitely a housing expense associated with sending your kid off to college. But that being said, there's one smart play that I love, and that is to buy a house for your kid. Which I know sounds like absolutely like, what, you got stupid money, man? No, hear me out here. And I'm going to make this very simplistic because this is not a difficult thing to find in most areas around colleges, but find a 2-bedroom, 2-bath or a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house close enough that it's not a huge commute to get to the school, and you buy that with them, and then you rent out the other rooms. It's not that hard. It pays for itself. At the end of 2 years or 4 years, as long as they live there those 2 years and their name's on the title, then they can sell it. And Section 121 in the IRS code, I'm not an attorney, but it does say that they consider the tax paid because it was owner occupied. So any profit up to $250,000 of appreciation just goes right in your pocket, which, if they incurred some student loan debt, that should pretty much pay off their student loans like that. Or they can hold on to the property for another 3 years, because 2 years out of the previous 5, that gives you 3 years. It's not difficult math there. It's not calculus. But they can hold on to it for another 3 years, rent out all 3 rooms if it's a 3-bed, 2-bath. And there you go. They're like, let that help pay some of the bills. There's some other great stuff in this article on how to do this, but I definitely wanted to cover that, talking about, man, where's my video feed? Where'd my camera go? I didn't even realize that because I was too busy scrolling through stuff. Let's see if it's that or this. I mean, the microphone's still working, but here we go. Can I get my picture back? I've got a external power source hooked up to my camera, and sometimes it seats right and sometimes yep, that's what it is. Hold on for one moment for technical. Hey, there we go. Hey, I'm back. Look at that. So yeah. Hopefully the info was entertaining because you weren't looking at me through all of that. But yeah, I mean, there's some really great options and opportunities, and college you can at least get to be able to break even. And there's so many ways to do that, and it's totally worthwhile. So shout out to William up in Tallahassee, and also shout out to my wife who's going up there to hang out with him because he's got a concert this weekend, and tomorrow is actually my wife's birthday. So happy birthday, honey. She's off at a meeting right now, so I know she's not watching this, but hey, at least I did the shout out. But yeah, it's let's go back over here real quick. There we go. But yeah, that was pretty good chunk of information. I've been on here for 45 minutes now. Nobody has dropped a comment in any of the chats. Maybe I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just that boring. I kind of am, but whatever. I'm having a good time. That's what it's all about. And most importantly, as far as I'm concerned, is I actually did my live stream. It's not easy to do this. I mean, it's not terribly difficult. Getting it set up initially, that was the nightmare. But it's not comfortable yet. And I had hit that point during the previous podcast episodes, like the last one that I did with Christina Carroll. I was like, man, this was good. We got, an awesome little vibe going, and it was fun, and it was informative, and there was great back and forth, and I felt like it was engaging, and it was doing great. And then I had to go offline for a month. And I feel like I lost that momentum and that charge. So this one's kind of like ripping the Band-Aid off and saying, hey, get back in front of the camera, get used to pushing your buttons again. Remember all the little techie projects that you wanted to do to fix stuff, because it's going to be a thing in upcoming episodes where I want to be able to do stuff. And I got an awesome little tech tool that it's going to take me a while to get it to deploy the way I want it to. But I think it's going to make the rest of this a lot easier. So I'm going to poke at that in the upcoming week. But mostly, I promise I'm going to get on several more people for podcast episodes covering some really solid information that I think people need to know. Insurance, dealing with wholesalers. Those are people who buy distressed properties. There's definitely a mixed opinion on those. But I've got a great guy to talk about that. Purchase and renovation loans. I've got two different people who are going to come on and talk about those. So yeah, I've got some really great stuff coming up in the upcoming weeks. And I want to be able to do this and feel natural doing it. And part of that was being able to do my live stream tonight. It's on my schedule. I'm going to do it. That's what I'm here for. And still, nobody has any questions, but at least it looks like, it looks like my viewers have dropped off. So that's okay. I mean, I still have two of y'all out there watching, so that makes me happy. Or at least that's what my free stream's reporting that I've got too. But yeah, I'm here to have a good time and be informative, mostly just have a good time. But hopefully that means everybody else gets to have a good time too. It's supposed to be fun. Yeah, here we go. Man, yes. I got to do this one for Veterans Day. Hold up, don't get offended.
When I go home, people ask me, hey, Hoot, why do you do it, man? Why? Just some kind of war junkie? Why? They won't understand. They won't understand why we do it. They won't understand. It's about the
Veteran discount and free meal at Applebee's.
And that's it. That's all it is.
I know that's terribly messed up. Oh yeah, but I had to put that one out there. I got to go in and tweak this thing a little bit. I look so red in this video right now. But I look right over there on my big screen, but down here on what looks like the live broadcast, it looks right. I don't know what the hell's going on. But anyhow, yeah, so that's, I'm not going to be cheesy about it. Enjoy our weekend. And I would say I'll see you all at Applebee's, but I ain't going to get to see you all at Applebee's this year. I can't go out and eat. It's terrible. But yeah, I've had a good time. I'm going to sign off now. Y'all enjoy your weekend. Be somewhat safe and responsible. You know the safety briefing. Don't add to the population. Don't subtract from the population. Don't get arrested and go to jail. And if you do, make sure you establish dominance early. All right, there you go. There's your weekend safety brief. I have way too much fun doing this stuff. Hopefully you all enjoyed this episode. Again, I'll be cranking a couple more out in the next couple of, well, I've got a different one I'm going to do in the next couple of days, and I'll be bringing on some good guests in the upcoming week to help you know what you should be doing, how and why, and to help you out if you had any damage to your home, or you're just deciding, hey, I don't want to stay here anymore. And if that's the case, feel free to give me a call. My information's coming up here in just a second. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.
Thank you. Woo! That is why I won't do 2 shows a night anymore, babe. I won't do